Tshepo, the jean maker Mohlala, spoke to our producer Thapelo Mowela and shared his story of being one of the leading young entrepreneurs in the South African creative industry. He made headlines when the Duchess of Sussex paid him a visit at his manufacturing factory in downtown Johannesburg. This is how the conversation went.
And my childhood wasn't really like the most interesting childhood, but like I feel like because my grandmother didn't want us to play on the streets, so I don't have any street cred. I was always locked at home and I was always a loner, and the only time I'd go out just going to school, come back, do your schoolwork, go to church, and my whole life was based around church, and that's how I became the man I am today, I guess. Growing up, my grandmother, she's a pastor, and like everybody looks at the family, so I guess like at some point I felt like the pressure of always looking good and making, because I was a very shy kid, so like I had to give people something great to look at.
And you just mentioned that your mom, grandmother and aunt played a role in your life.
Yeah.
How did they shape who Tshepo is today? Take us through that.
I think for me, like, it's just different influences. So like my grandmother is a storyteller, and she's a pastor, so she's a very great storyteller, and so for me, like, I've always wanted to be like her, being able to just tell stories and inspire people by just telling stories, and that's what I've learned from my grannies, to tell stories and to be real and to be honest with people. Our home was always open for people. 2 a.m. in the morning, people would walk in, knock at our door and ask for prayers. So she was a public servant. She still is a public servant, and that's one thing that I've learned from my granny, is that you always have to humble yourself, whether no matter how much money you make, no matter how famous you get, always serve the people. The purpose for me is like serving people. My aunt is one person in our neighborhood who went to university, and I remember back in the early 2000s, you know, R&B had that whole denim on denim scene, and she was one person who brought TV closer to me. So like I'd see stuff on TV, and then next week she's here, she's wearing it, you know, and for me that was like a treat, you know, and I think I wanted to be the type of person who's gonna influence how people look, how people feel, and that's how she influenced me. And my mom is one person, she's a hustler, you know. She was a domestic worker, and the other time I was asking her, like, how did you manage to raise us 1,500 a month? And so I've learned that if you really love something, you'll do whatever to take care of it. And the thing about jeans is that it's a sentimental buy. You don't just buy a pair of jeans and share. It's like you have to connect with it. People would come to us and say, hey, I have a favorite pair of jeans that I bought in London. Can you replicate it? And we tell them we can't. You know, the relationship between you and that pair is not only about the fit, but that in between your ears. It's when you bought it, there was something happening. So it's always about the experience, it's all about the emotion, it's all about that. So that's why jeans, because I really love the ability that we can tell stories and we can connect with different people from across the world, Indians, Chinese people, black people, everybody wears jeans, and you know, South African has done it, I think, to a level where they can take it globally, and that's where our vision is to take it global and be a staple brand across the world, where if you're traveling around the world, you find a Tshepo somewhere, you find a Tshepo in the UK, you find a Tshepo in America, and that's where the dream is.
Okay, you started off at African Swiss, right? And
Yeah.
you decided to venture into your own brand and solo. Why so?
So I think with African Swiss we've reached our peak, and I've reached my time, and my time was okay, it was done, you know, and once that happened, I took a gap, about 7 months, trying to figure myself out if I'm still supposed to be in the jeans game or not. Tshepo the Jean Maker was my Instagram handle at the time, and I remember one crazy night with a friend of mine, Smoo. We went out and I came back, I was like, you know what, I'm really stressed, I don't know what to do with my life. It's like, continue doing what you're doing, because people know you're ready for Tshepo the Jean Maker. So I got a loan for 8,000 Rand, created a range of jeans called the Presidential Slim Fits, and that's when my career has started. It took us about 8 months to sell 100 jeans.
Your brand is international now. I mean, like, you can find your jeans in countries like the Netherlands, How does that make you feel?
No, I mean, like, that it makes me happy. You know, it makes me happy every time when we go on our emails, and like we have orders from the UK, we have orders from Asia, we have orders from America, from New York. You know, like this other time I was so excited. This guy came in, he's a pilot, and he walks in here, he's like, Tshepo. I'm like, yeah, how's it, brother? He's like, I'm so happy to meet you. I'm like, oh. And then we start talking, and like he tells me who he is. He's from New York, and he's been looking for me. And I'm like, how did you find out about me? He's like, social media, bro. You know, so for me, I'm really, really excited that the brand has opened up, and it's received so like it's well received across the world, and people just want to stock the product, people want to wear the product. There's a guy who came in here 7:30 in the morning when we opened. He was outside already waiting. I'm like, oh dude, what do you want so early? He's like, oh, I want a jean, I saw it. So he comes in, he tries on a pair, he's like, oh my god. I'm like, those are not available yet. She's like, oh my god, can I buy them? So we had to sell those pairs of shoes to him. But I mean, is that process that we take through our people, is the whole experience, the brand is the experience. When I first started, envisioned it, it took me 4 years to get to this point, and I'm really happy that like it's been welcomed, and people are embracing the product and the brand as what it's supposed to be. You know, Tshepo is a normal name. Every second person that you know gets Tshepo. In South Africa, it's a very well common name, and I remember when I started, people were like, how are you going to sell Tshepo? And I honestly didn't know how I'm going to sell Tshepo, because everybody is Tshepo. But it just happened. As time goes on, we got better and better and better. Our product got better and better, and it's really a very organic process. It was organic, it still is organic.